Now, once again, we have ourselves a new franchise, and what happens every single time we have a new franchise? Well, they don't have any players to start off. They only have 0 overalls, and these 0 overalls obviously aren't going to be able to win a Stanley Cup. However, we are going to win a Stanley Cup in today's video, and we're going to be doing that through sticker twist. Now, you might be wondering, what is sticker twist? Well, I have 100 NHL players on this wheel right here. 30% of our players are a 90 overall or higher. Another 40% of the players on this wheel are going to be players in between an 80 and 89 overall. And then our final 30% is going to be players between a 70 and a 79 overall. So we can hit it big here. We can bring Connor McDavid to the team, or we can bring Quentin Musty, who is a 70 overall. So we're going to go ahead and spin this wheel right here, and let's see what player we're going to be landing on. It looks like we're going to be starting off with Sidney Crosby. Now with Sidney Crosby, we're going to stick here. Like, Sidney Crosby's an amazing player. He's definitely the guy we want to be starting our franchise off with. However, let's just say I land on Quentin Musty. Well, that means I would have twist. So I can spin the wheel once again, but no matter what player I land on, I have to take that player no matter what. So I could land on like an 86 overall Will Cooley or something. And you know what? I might not be happy with that, so I'm going to spin the wheel again. But after I spun the wheel again, I got 70 overall Quentin Musty. I'm going to have to stick with Quentin Musty. That's how it's going to work in today's video. So Sidney Crosby, you're the perfect player to start off with. So 94 overall Sidney Crosby, one of the best players in the game. That's who we're going to be starting off with. Crosby's definitely a player I want to stick with. Like 94 overall Crosby, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Now 94 overall Crosby, you're one of the best in the game, but you're not really one of the best in the game when you're surrounded by 0 overall players, because you're going to have no support whatsoever. I'm not going to be surprised when you don't take a shot this season, because with all these 0 overalls, it's going to be impossible for you to take a shot. But whether it's impossible or not, it's time for us to simulate season number 1. But before we do that, a quick word from today's sponsor. What's up, guys? It's Stick on the Ice here, and today's video is sponsored by Play Versus, and they're going to give you a chance to win a trip to the 2026 Winter Classic in Miami, Florida. The tournament's going to take place on Play Versus Stadium platform in a best of 1 series in a 1v1 tournament. The tournament's going to be taking place from June 27th to June 29th for ages 13 to 21 in the US only and on PlayStation 5 only. Now, this event is going to be free to sign up for, and you can do that using my link in the description. Now, on top of the main prize, which is a trip to the 2026 Winter Classic, there's some other prizes as well. For everyone that registers, you're going to receive a 15% discount code for NHL Shop. Other prizes consist of a copy of NHL 26 upon release, 2 tickets to your nearest NHL market, and even autographed NHL items. And if you haven't already, make sure you go sign up for the tournament, and I would like to thank Play Versus for sponsoring today's video. So with the help of Sidney Crosby, this team did absolutely nothing. The Georgia guard, ignore this. We are ignoring this. Okay, we didn't see any of that. The Georgia guard placed somewhere in the standings. Don't know where the St. Louis Blues finished. They're probably one of the top teams in the league. Sidney Crosby actually took a shot this season. This might be the first time in history. Hold on, Kaz Kalinkas took a shot this season. Normally when I add a player to the team, like when it's a single NHL player surrounded by 0 overalls, those guys don't take shots. Like, they're surrounded by 0 overalls, there's no way they're taking any shots this season. But you're telling me not only did Sidney Crosby take a shot this season, Kaz Kalinkas took a shot. This team is full of 0 overall players, and Kaz Kalinkas took a shot alongside Sidney Crosby. No, that's incredible. This team really did the impossible here. I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it. The Detroit Red Wings are Stanley Cup champions. No, I can't believe that. Edmonton's losing in the Stanley Cup final, though. That's a tough look. We're also going to figure out how tough it is for me to wear a Matthew Tkachuk jersey, considering Game 6 is tonight. Game 6 hasn't even started. I'm wearing this Matthew Tkachuk jersey. We'll see what happens. Either Florida's going to win tonight and Matthew Tkachuk will be a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, or we're going to have Game 7. Those are the 2 options we have. So yeah, we'll see how well this choice of jersey ages. We're going to be landing on Jesper Bratt here. I think we got to stick with Jesper Bratt. Like, he would be in the upper echelon of players that we can select from. So Jesper Bratt, we're going to stick with you here. We're not going to be twisting quite yet. So I guess we'll find out if wearing a Matthew Tkachuk Calgary Flames jersey was the right choice for today's video, but that's neither here nor there. Jesper Bratt's going to be joining the team, 92 overall. We really started with 94 overall Sidney Crosby and 92 overall Jesper Bratt. We had a 30% chance of getting both of these players, so the odds of us getting back-to-back 90 overalls here, not technically the highest. Now, based on my quick calculations, the odds of us getting 90 overalls in back-to-back spins here was a 9% chance. There was a 9% chance of us landing on Sidney Crosby and Jesper Bratt. So you know what? We'll take it. 290 overalls. That's a great start to the team. Now I guess we're not going to be able to see what the Georgia guard could do this season with Sidney Crosby and Jesper Bratt because the game's going to be freezing 44 losses in. It's the way she goes sometimes. So let's go ahead and see if our good luck can continue here. Can we get another 90 overall player? We're going to be getting Isaac Rosen. I know for a fact Rosen isn't the best player in the league, and I know for a fact there's better options. So we're going to twist here. We're going to spin the wheel once again, but no matter who we land on here, we have to bring him to the team no matter what. Oh, I actually would have been way better off with Rosen. We got Romanov, Georgi Romanov. So that's not ideal. Now Romanov, I think you're actually one of the lowest overall goaltenders in the league. Like, you are one of the worst players that we could have added to the team here. Yeah, we are in the absolute trenches. Georgi Romanov, 76 overall hybrid goaltender. I mean, you're better than a 0 overall. I guess I can give you that. Now, I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't think Romanov's going to make the difference here. I don't think he's single-handedly going to turn this team into a playoff team right here. That's just my honest opinion, and definitely has nothing to do with all the 0 overalls on this team. Nope, just based solely on him. Well, I guess we'll never know how the season would have ended. Maybe Romanov would have led us to a bit of success, but we'll never know that because the game froze 4 games in. Now, it's really unfortunate. The game froze right before we were about to go on our 70-game winning streak. We were about to dominate the NHL. Adam Lowry is our next player here, but I don't really feel like taking Adam Lowry. I know there are better players available than Adam Lowry, so we are going to twist here. We're looking to bring in Connor McDavid. We're looking to bring in Nathan McKinnon. Who are we going to walk away with? Mitch Marner. What a spin that was. We do have a surplus of playmakers on this team, but instead of taking Adam Lowry, we risked it big time, and now we're going to be walking away with Mitch Marner, so that was definitely worth it. Now, we decided to risk it, and you know what? It worked out big time for us. Adam Lowry, you're an 85 overall. Why did I think you were a lower overall than that? That was actually a very stupid risk now. Like, we could have easily walked away with 85 overall Adam Lowry, and we would have been fine, but nope, I decided to risk it because for some reason I thought he was a lower overall than that, but it worked out. 93 overall Mitch Mars joined the team. That risk was not worth it. No, like, that was actually a stupid risk. For some reason I thought Adam Lowry was like an 83 overall, not an 85 overall. Like, we had the same odds of getting Mitch Marner as we did Quentin Musty. Just want to point that out. Like, we had the same odds of getting a 93 overall player as we did a 70 overall player. So that risk was definitely not worth it. It worked out for us, but in the future we definitely can't do that. Now, we don't have to worry about the game freezing because it's just full-blown crashing this time. We haven't been able to get through 3 straight seasons now. 2 freezes, a crash. It ain't right. But you know what else isn't right? The fact that Connor McDavid's not on this team yet. It's time to spin once again. Sorokin? Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Sorokin, welcome to the team. We got our goaltender. All right, so I had to go back and double check my list of players because I don't understand how we're getting this many 90 overalls. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So I went back and I checked it, and there is only a 30% chance of getting a 90 overall player. We have now got 4 in the first 5 spins. That shouldn't be possible. Statistically, that's not possible. But here we are. So we got our goaltending tandem incredibly early in this video. Sorokin and Romanov. I'm perfectly fine with this. Sorokin's the #1 guy for us, 90 overall. I'm never going to question this man. He's going to lead us to greatness here, but it probably wouldn't hurt if we brought in a couple defensemen. Alright, I'm sick and tired of this. Why can we not get through seasons anymore? Like, there is no reason that it should have froze twice on me and then crashed another 2 times. I just want to get to the end of the season here. Is that really too much to ask for? Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Actually, it's more than a little bit ridiculous. It's incredibly ridiculous. This is also ridiculous. Sam Reinhart, how on earth did we get you here? Like, that doesn't even make sense. 5 90 overall players. There is a 30% chance at getting a 90 overall player, a 70% chance at getting anyone who isn't a 90 overall. The odds just don't make sense here. No, like, it really shouldn't be possible for us to have this many 90 overalls on the team. Like, I have triple checked the odds of us bringing a 90 overall to the team, and it's 30% in every spin. But somehow, we've just been landing on the correct 30% every time. Like, there is a 70% chance that we don't get a 90 overall player. But here we are. Like, I don't know how that works. I do want to point out every forward we've brought to the team so far has been a playmaker, though. Reinhart, Crosby, Marner, Jesper Bratt, all of them are playmakers. So that's kind of interesting. No, like, real talk, this shouldn't be possible. We shouldn't have a first line this good. I didn't think we would see a first line this good in the entirety of the video, let alone in our first, like, 6 spins. It just doesn't make sense. Now, we've prayed for times like this. I'm not saying we won a game or anything, but we finally got through a season here. This is only the 2nd season we've made it through, and Sidney Crosby, he led the way for us. 47 points, 22 goals, 25 helpers. Sam Reinhart, 15 goals, 30 assists for 45 points. Mitch Marner, 42 points, but we made it through a season. This team finally made it all the way through one season. Jesper Bratt shot 50% this season. He only took 2 shots, but he did score 1 goal. Meanwhile, Sorokin, you had a 912 and a 503. Those are interesting numbers. The fact that you posted a 912 and a 503, you'll never see that ever again. Granted, the save percentage does make sense though. Like, he would have been facing like 50 shots a game, so a 912 makes sense. And then he probably allowed 5 goals. Yeah, it all evens out. The Florida Panthers are Stanley Cup champions. That's going to be the Georgia Guards sooner than later. Now, you know what? I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Like, we don't have a single defenseman on the team yet. I should probably chill a little bit. Caden Lindstrom, I got a twist here. We can't be sticking with Caden Lindstrom. He's only like a 75 overall. So the next player we land on, that's who we're going to be bringing to the team. And who's that player going to be? Will Borgren. 81 overall, Will Borgren. Stick on the ice legend, Will Borgren. Would have preferred Cale Makar, but I'll take Will Borgren. So stick on the ice legend, Will Borgren. Welcome to the team. Unfortunately, you're only an 81 overall, but you are a defenseman. So I am happy about that. We're finally bringing a defenseman to the team, but it's 81 overall Will Borgren. There were better options available, but at least he's a stick on the ice legend, so he has that going for him. So we finally got our first defenseman. That's going to be stick on the ice legend, Will Borgren. I'm not expecting him to do too much here, but he's going to play some big defense minutes to start off. Now, it might not be a victory, but you know what? We'll take 3 overtime losses this season. The Georgia Guards actually doing something here. 67 goals. We scored 67 goals, but yet we made it to overtime 3 times. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that maths, but we're not going to question it. Sidney Crosby, 23 goals. Mitch Marner, 20. Sam Reinhart, 19. So those guys were stepping up big time this season. Will Borgren, you were our number 1 defenseman, an 81 overall. I bet you performed great for us. You had 2 assists. We're just going to leave it at that. I don't know how you only have 2 assists. Sorokin, your numbers are actually worse this season, yet we made it to 3 overtime games. I got nothing to say, really. Will Borgren, 2 assists. This man had 2 assists, and he was on the ice with Mitch Marner, Sidney Crosby, and Sam Reinhart. Like, when they were on the power play and it was 5-on-4, Will Borgren, Mitch Marner, Sidney Crosby, Sam Reinhart, Jesper Bratt, and you're telling me with those 5 guys on the ice, you could only pick up 2 assists this season? Nah, bro's a fraud. You know what? Will Borgren might be a fraud, but he's still a stick on the ice legend, and at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. Fabian Lysell is going to be the player that we're landing on here. I don't want Lysell, so it's time to twist here. We're spinning the wheel once again. Whoever we get here, that's who we're going to have to stick with. And we got Ross Colton. 84 overall Ross Colton. Now, I would celebrate him not being a playmaker, but we have to understand he's a grinder, so that makes him basically useless. Now, this doesn't happen too often, but we're bringing a player to the team that isn't a 90 overall. We should probably have more players like Ross Colton on this team, a bunch of 84, 85, 86 overall players, but nope, we're just getting 90 overalls, because that seems fair. So Ross Colton, you're going to play some second line minutes, but you know what? You got some support at your side. Yes, Brad's going to be here at 92 overall. Yeah, you got Corey Trevor here, and he's certainly going to hold the team back, but you got at least one decent piece beside you, so you should see a bit of success because of that. Now, the boys just can't seem to catch a break here. No matter what we do, we're either losing in regulation or losing in overtime or a shootout. We just can't win an OT or a shootout, and it's getting ridiculous. 74 goals this season. I'm a little surprised that we haven't reached a goal per game yet. Like Sidney Crosby, Sam Reinhart, Mitch Marner, Jesper Bratt, Ross Colton, Will Borgren. What else do we need here? How many more assets do we need for this team to reach a goal per game? Sorokin, you did what you could this season. Romanov, you actually made it to overtime in one of your games. So shout out to Romanov. Bro did what he had to. But it still isn't quite good enough here. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions, sweeping the Florida Panthers. Either give me a superstar sniper here or give me an elite defenseman, one of the two. Like, I would take a Kirill Kaprizov here. I would take a Leon Draisaitl here. I need one of those guys. Logan Thompson, I don't really need you here. Yes, you could technically be our backup goaltender, but we're going to twist here. We don't need another goaltender. We need a good forward or a good defenseman. Dakota Joshua. You know what? You might not be a sniper, and you're not a playmaker or a grinder. You're a power forward. So I guess you technically fit what we're looking for here. So Dakota Joshua, welcome to the team. St. Louis Blues legend, by the way. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm actually very unhappy with this selection now. So I went to remove Dakota Joshua from the wheel because obviously we can't land on the same player twice. ice. Who was Dakota Joshua surrounded by? Well, the two players surrounding Dakota Joshua were Nathan MacKinnon and Jacob Slavin. Instead of getting either of those guys, we got 81 overall Dakota Joshua, who's a power forward. I would have definitely preferred Jacob Slavin or Nathan MacKinnon, but you know what? We needed a power forward, so Dakota Joshua, you do hold a role here. So we got ourselves a complete top 6 now. Sidney Crosby, Mitch Marner, Sam Reinhart, Dakota Joshua, Ross Colton, Jesper Bratt. That's not too bad. The only problem is when these guys are on the ice, there was 0 overalls and Will Borgren. It's just not good enough defensively here. We got to bring in a defenseman desperately. So I'm incredibly surprised we were able to pull this off, especially with only one defenseman on the team. But the Georgia guard, 2 wins this season, and 2 of them came in regulation. We really stepped up when it had to. 100 goals this season, 1.24 goals per game. We figured out how to put pucks in the back of the net. Sam Reinhart, 64 points, including 33 goals. Sidney Crosby, 20 goals. Mitch Marner, 17. Jesper Bratt, 16. This team figured out how to score here. And then, of course, when it comes to Sorokin's numbers, he's only picking up 1 win because Romanov's picking up the other one. Now, both of these goaltenders were absolutely elite for us. Ignore the goals against and basically ignore the save percentage because both of them suck. But our 90 overall goaltender is picking up as many wins as our 76 overall. All right, I'm here for it. I don't really care who won the Stanley Cup. It was the Detroit Red Wings. I want to know who we beat. Now, I know one of the wins did come late in the season, and it was against the Seattle Kraken, and we beat them 4-2. But I don't know who else we beat. Oh, never mind. Yes, I do. It was literally our game before that. We were actually on a 2-game winning streak. We won back-to-back games here, and those were the only games we won all season. Yeah, so I guess I didn't have to look too far for that win. You know what? It's good to see the team getting a little bit of success now. Like, we were in the trenches for a long time. Tyler Myers, I low-key want to stick with you, because at least you're a defenseman. You're not the greatest defenseman in the world, but you are a defenseman. But I want to risk it here because I know Cale Makar is available. Tyler Myers, I am passing up on you. This is probably the wrong decision. Who are we going to bring to the team instead? William Nylander. Sometimes you got to play risky. Now, you know what? Maybe risking Tyler Myers wasn't the right decision. Like, he was an 84 overall, a good defensive defenseman. He could play some valuable minutes. We did risk it, though, and that means we're bringing 91 overall William Nylander to the team. Another 90 overall. I just want to point out, even though I risked it on Tyler Myers, there was still a 70% chance that we didn't get a 90 overall player. When it comes to all of these 90 overalls right here, we actually had a better chance of getting an 89 overall and below than getting all of these 90s, but we continue to defy the odds here. Now, I think you can make the argument that we have the best top 6 in the NHL right now. However, we are completely flawed as we have no snipers here. We have 5 playmakers, a grinder, and a power forward. That just doesn't scream postseason success. We need players that can put the puck into the back of the net. So it looks like the guards are just going to keep on winning with the addition of William Nylander. 5 wins this season, 3 coming in regulation. We had 4 OT losses as well for 14 points this season. That's a team high. We've never seen that many points before. Mitch Marner 60 points here, Sam Reinhart 60 points, but only had 15 goals. Not what I'm looking for here. I need him to be the big goal scorer, considering we keep on bringing in playmakers. Somebody's gonna have to score the goals here, whether that's Sidney Crosby, Reinhart, Mitch Marner. I don't care who scores as long as somebody's scoring here. Sorokin, you had 1 shutout this season. I don't want to see who you shut out, because it was probably the St. Louis Blues. I can almost guarantee it was the St. Louis Blues. Yeah, 100% was. The New Jersey Devils are Stanley Cup champions. Let's go add another player to the team, but this player has to be a defenseman. So we are praying for a defenseman. A defenseman would feed families right now. Just give me a defenseman. We got the Otter. The Otter would be great, and he would actually be an upgrade from our backup goaltender, and he would actually be an upgrade from Sorokin, but I am willing to pass up on the Otter here in order to get a defenseman. Even if it's a 78 overall defenseman, I'm fine with that. Tyler Myers, we somehow landed on you again here, and I'm actually happy with this selection. Now, yes, I did turn down 93 overall Jake Oettinger, and we could have ran a tandem of Jake Oettinger and Sorokin, but instead, I passed up on the Otter so I could bring Tyler Myers to the team, 84 overall. I passed up on him once already in this video when it came to William Nylander. We risked it a ton, but you know what? We got lucky. We were able to get Tyler Myers again here, 84 overall. We at least have a complete pairing when it comes to the defense. Yes, both these guys are right defensemen, but we'll make it work. So we've gone ahead and added Tyler Myers to the team. He's going to be teaming up with Will Borgren in our first pairing. Is this the superstar defensive pairing that we're looking for? Absolutely not. But you know what? As long as these guys play their role, we'll be all right. Now, don't ask me why I thought this, but I thought with the addition of Tyler Myers, we'd be looking at 10 wins this season. For some reason, I thought two defensemen, Will Borgren and Tyler Myers, was going to help this team win 10 games this season. I was incredibly wrong. Sam Reinhart, 69 points, led the way with 30 goals. Mitch Marner, 65 points. Sidney Crosby, 63. Like, the first line's really good here. And then the second line's not that bad either. I can't really complain about what we have here. But yeah, we need a superstar defenseman, and we're going to get that with our next spin. No matter what happens here, we're bringing a superstar defenseman to the team. Unless with our first spin we get like Nikita Kucherov or Kirill Kaprizov, then we'll settle for one of those guys. Like, we have had a ridiculous amount of good luck in this video, and it's bound to all come crashing down eventually. Jack Campbell is one of our options here. We're not going to stick with Jack Campbell, but maybe the Edmonton Oilers should have, but that's neither here nor there. We are going to move on. We are going to twist here, and we're going to be bringing Quinton Byfield to the team. 84 overall Byfield. You know what? You're not a defenseman, but you can play some top 6 minutes for us. So Quinton Byfield, you're going to be joining the team, and you're likely going to hold the top 6 role for us. More than likely, you're going to be replacing Ross Colton on the second line. He's going to move down to the third line, but we got ourselves a pretty solid team here. We just still don't have a sniper, and we need a sniper desperately. All right, I think we actually have to start focusing on defensemen here, because we only have 4 more forwards to bring to the team. We don't have any more goaltenders to bring to the team, but yet we still need to bring 4 defensemen here. We have not been bringing in a lot of defensemen, and that's got to change. So I think moving forward with our very first spin, even if we land on like a 78 overall defenseman, I think we're going to have to stick with them. We can't be twisting on all these 78, 77 overall defensemen, especially when we're not bringing any to the team. All right, I've changed my opinion. We don't need defensemen on this team. We just need Quinton Byfield. 13 wins this season, a 13-67-2 record. Apparently, all we were missing here is Quinton Byfield. It doesn't matter if we have multiple 0 overall defensemen here. We just needed Quinton Byfield. We needed his 14 goals and 28 assists for 42 points. That's what this team was desperately missing. And now that we have him, we're absolutely locked in here. We also need Sorokin to put up numbers like this. 11 wins, 2 shouts, a 909 to 437. We also really needed those numbers. So what was the biggest difference? Sorokin's numbers or Quinton Byfield? Well, obviously Quinton Byfield. He completely turned this team around. Quinton Byfield is the reason that Sorokin played so much better this season. He was the real difference maker. Niels Lundqvist, I want to actually stick here. I think we have to stick with Niels Lundqvist. Like, we've been struggling to find defensemen here. So Lundqvist, we're going to keep you. Now, Niels Lundqvist, I do not expect you to be a superstar here. I really just need you to play your role. You're a 79 overall offensive defenseman. You're no superstar whatsoever. However, you're a defenseman, and that means quite a bit here. So welcome to the team. I just need you to play some good third pairing minutes in the future. Now, I don't expect Niels Lundqvist to save this team. Like, he's only a 79 overall. However, he is better than a 0 overall player, so he's definitely going to be helping this team. Now, what a surprise. Niels Lundqvist did make us significantly better here. A 14-64-4 record. What was I really expecting? Like, let's be honest here. Pro's a 79 overall. Sidney Crosby did have a career season here, though. He did pick up 72 points. I guess it's not technically a career season because he's had more than 72 points, but it's a career season in this video. You get the point. Mitch Marner, 69 points. Sam Reinhart, 63. The team is looking not too bad. Sorokin, his numbers continue to look incredible here. We just don't have a defense in front of him. Once we get a defense in front of Sorokin, it's probably only going to take us 3 tries in the postseason before we win a Stanley Cup. The Winnipeg Jets, Stanley Cup champions, sweeping the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's going to be us sooner than later. Then again, I say that basically every season, and we still haven't even brought 6 defensemen to the team, so we're a long ways away from winning a Stanley Cup. Now, we have to twist here. Quinton Musty is the lowest overall player on this wheel. He is a 70 overall, so no matter who we get from this wheel spin right here, we're actually better off unless we get Quinton Musty again. We're going to be bringing Jack Eichel to the team. Who needs a defense if you can just outscore your problems? And that's going to be the goal for this team. We're just going to outscore all of our problems. Jack Eichel, welcome to the team. Another playmaker. This is basically a playmaker only challenge at this point. Like, we have all playmakers, a couple power forwards, a grinder. This is a little bit ridiculous, I'm not going to lie. Now, I think we have something here. And what that thing is a bunch of playmakers. Every player on our top 6 right now is a playmaker, but we're not going to worry about it because some of these playmakers can score goals. Some of our defensemen, they can somewhat defend here, and then when it comes to goaltending, we're set. Once we bring in some elite defensemen, we're going 82-0. All right, 82-0 might be a stretch, but you get the point here. We're going to be pretty good. Now, I think I might have been sleeping on Jack Eichel slightly here. 18 wins this season, an 18-62-2 record, but I got to give Jack Eichel a lot of credit because he led this team in scoring with 88 points. I don't even know if bro was on the top line. I don't think he was. 36 goals. Sidney Crosby, 31 goals. Sam Reinhart, 25 goals. Offensive Offensively, we are very good here. We just suck defensively. That's the only problem for this team. We can't keep the puck out of our net. That's going to be changing. Shout out to Romanoff, though. 8 wins this season. Bro was stepping up when he had to. If Sorokin was a little bit better, we probably could have had 20 wins this season, but we're going to have 20 wins after we add one more player. Also, shout out to Minnesota. They're beating Toronto in the Stanley Cup final. All right, I'm about to make a terrible decision here, but we are going to ride with that terrible decision. Bysted, this is actually no longer looking like a terrible decision. If I landed on Connor McDavid here, the plan was to spin again no matter what because we desperately need defensemen here, and I'm just really hoping we get one. Ian Mitchell, you are technically a defenseman. You're not a good defenseman, but you're a defenseman. So it's time to add our first AHL player to the team. Yes, you heard that right. We're adding AHL players here. Ian Mitchell is going to be that guy. Oh boy, where is this man? He better be one of the top players here. Am I just completely missing him, or is he on the Boston Bruins now? I have no clue where bro is. At first I thought he was on the Chicago Blackhawks, then I thought he was in Chicago's AHL system, then I thought he was on the Providence Bruins. I guess he's on the Boston Bruins. Ian Mitchell, where are you? I need to add you to the team here. You were a 76 overall. This took way too long for me to find you. Like, I know bro used to play for Chicago. He played for them during the 2022-2023 season. Then he was with the Providence Bruins and the Boston Bruins. I don't know if he was with Boston all of this season or he was with Providence for a little bit. All I know is he's on our team now, and he's gonna have to play second pairing minutes, so he might be cooked. Well, here's our superstar defensive core: Will Borgren, Tyler Myers, Lundqvist, Ian Mitchell. I don't think we're ever gonna win a Stanley Cup here unless something stupid happens, like with our next 2 spins we get Cale Makar and then Victor Hedman, because we need those guys. Now with our defense, I didn't expect this. Ian Mitchell, you're officially a stick on the ice legend. 28th in the entire league, a 32-45-5 record. We don't need a defense. We don't need any superstar defensemen here. Give me 2 more 80 overall defensemen and that's going to be good enough. Sam Reinhart, an absolute dog. Jesper Bratt, an absolute stud. Jack Eichel, elite. Sidney Crosby, elite. Marner, elite. William Nylander, elite. All of these guys are elite right here. Sorokin, incredible this season. 29 wins, 3 shots, a 911 and a 351. We're actually only a couple players away from making the playoffs. This team's really about to do it. The New York Rangers, Stanley Cup champions, but the guards are ready to make a push. We're not playing around anymore, not whatsoever. We just need a couple more pieces, and then we're going to be bringing home the Stanley Cup. Sean Farrell, you are not that guy. We are going to twist here. We need Cale Makar. I'll even take Kirill Kaprizov. Tyler Tucker, you're a Blues legend. You're probably not the answer, but you're good enough here. Now, Tyler Tucker, I'm actually perfectly fine with bringing you to the team here because in the postseason, you actually looked not bad up until that Game 4 injury. So Tyler Tucker, welcome to the team here. You're a 77 overall defensive defenseman, but you play better than a 77 overall, that's for sure. Now, at this point, I've just embraced the defense here. These are the guys that we need. We don't need any superstars. We just need guys like Ian Mitchell, Lundqvist, Tyler Tucker, Will Borgren, Tyler Myers. Tyler Myers is going to be our number 1 defenseman, and he is going to lead us to a Stanley Cup. That is a sentence that probably no one has ever said. Then again, rookie season, Tyler Myers was pretty good, so people in Buffalo probably thought they had something, but it's Buffalo, so you know it's just going to come crashing down. Okay, we are going to look at the standings incredibly quick because you don't need to see what I saw. You see it? Alright, let's move on. The St. Louis Blues won some games this season. Not very many games, but they won a couple. How did that team do so incredibly bad? But you know what? We're not going to talk about it. We are not going to address it whatsoever. We're actually just going to completely move on here. Florida's winning the Stanley Cup. I did not witness that. Yeah, let's just say the St. Louis Blues won a few games this season, emphasizing the word few because it was very few. Cole Koepke, I don't need you here. You're not a defenseman. We need a defenseman here. I'm not even guaranteed to get a defenseman with this spin. We're bringing Mason Appleton to the team. I actually think he is a higher overall than Cole Koepke, so it's worth the spin. I mean, there's a very good chance that that wasn't an upgrade whatsoever. Cole Koepke, what overall are you? I think you're only like an 81, maybe not even. Okay, you're a 79 overall. Yeah, that definitely worked out then. Mason Appleton, I believe you're an 82 overall. So 82 overall, Mason Appleton has joined the team here. It's a 3 overall jump from Cole Koepke, but unfortunately Mason Appleton is not Cale Makar or Victor Hedman or Adam Fox. He is none of those guys. But you know what? He's a stick on the ice legend, so he has that going for him. So we almost have ourselves a complete forward core. Only 2 0 overall players remain on the 4th line. When it comes to the defense, we only have 1 0 overall player here. That's not really a good sign. Like, considering the rest of these overalls, yeah, we need something to save us. Alright, we gotta talk about something, because this is utterly ridiculous. How on earth were the Edmonton Oilers the worst team in the NHL? You're telling me the Edmonton Oilers were the worst team in the NHL? All right, this season doesn't count. Like, that is just utterly ridiculous. Like, what are we talking about here? Crosby 100 points. This is all great. I need to look at that Oilers team. Like, what happened to this team? McDavid 97 points. He was plus 31. Nuge was great. Hyman was great. Draisaitl had 50 goals but was minus 8. It must have been the bottom 6. Oh, that kind of explains it. Adam Henrique minus 32. Corey Perry minus 29. Oh yeah, that all makes sense now. Max Jones 8 points and you were minus 28. Okay, I kind of understand it now. When it comes to goaltending, Stuart Skinner had almost a 350. It all makes sense now. I understand why you guys were dead last, but the fact that you were dead last still doesn't make any sense. Like, you're better than that. Tampa's winning the Stanley Cup. No, we gotta put a bit more respect on Edmonton's name, because that's ridiculous. Like, dead last in the entire league for the Edmonton Oilers with a healthy Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. That shouldn't be possible. Alex Killorn, you could be a good fourth line player for us, but I need a superstar defenseman, so I'm going to have to keep on twisting here. We need to go for a defenseman. Frank Nazar. It's basically the same difference between you and Alex Killorn. Alright, so Alex Killorn was your overall. Like, I think you're like an 81, 82. Yeah, you're an 82 overall. Frank Nazar, I actually think you're a 79 overall, so we are a bit worse off here. But you know what? You can play your role on this team. You're not going to be hurting us. You're an 80 overall. The first sniper we brought to the team, though, alright, maybe we actually need Frank Nazar. So we're 1 forward away and 1 defenseman away. Frank Nazar, the fact that you're the first true sniper on this team is utterly ridiculous. Like, we almost have a complete team here, and it took till forward number 11 for us to get a sniper. The odds of that happening are very low. Now, there's one big difference between this season and last season. The offense collapsed. We weren't scoring goals this season. A 34, 44, and 4 record here. Sidney Crosby had 21 less points, and he's still leading the way with only 79. He was minus 11. We didn't have a single player with a positive plus minus. There's really nothing to smile about here. This entire team was a complete disappointment. Sorokin, you just weren't good enough here, even though you had 3 shots, a 905 and a 334. It wasn't quite good enough. We're going to be missing the postseason once again. The Edmonton Oilers, who had just finished dead last, are now Stanley Cup champions, because that's how it works. Alright, so right now I'm only interested in 1 forward and 1 defenseman. That's all I really care about. Are we getting a defenseman? Who cares about defense? Nikita Kucherov, welcome to the team. Now I need to emphasize this once again. There is a 30% chance of bringing a 90 overall player to the team. Let's discuss how many 90 overall players we have. Kucherov, we have Sidney Crosby, Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, Mitch Marner, Jesper Bratt, William Nylander, Sorokin. We have that many 90 overalls, but there's only a 30% chance of getting them. So here's our elite forward core with basically only playmakers: Sidney Crosby, Nikita Kucherov, Sam Reinhart, Jesper Bratt, Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, William Nylander are all playmakers. We have 7 playmakers here: Quentin Byfield, Ross Colton, Dakota Joshua, Mason Appleton, Frank Nazar. That's the forward core. The defense, we're not even going to go over. Goaltending, we got Sorokin. When it comes to our next wheel spin, I'm going to keep on spinning the wheel until we get a defenseman, but the first defenseman we land on, that's who we're bringing to the team. Whether it's the best defenseman in the game, Cale Makar, or one of the worst defensemen on this wheel, whoever we land on, that's who we're going to be bringing on. So I guess we don't need a defense here. We just don't need it, because we're going to outscore our problems. 5th in the entire league. The Georgia Guard is the best team here, except we're really not. Like, we have a very mid defense. Our offense isn't significantly above average here. Actually, I shouldn't say that. We probably have one of the best offenses. Yeah, we have the 3rd best offense. We have a terrible defense, though, and that can't be overlooked. Nikita Kucherov, 105 points this season. Sidney Crosby, 101. Sam Reinhart, 95. I need our first line to carry the way. Without our first line, and I probably should throw our second line in that conversation, we're probably not going to stand a chance here. We're going to have to score 15 goals per game if we want to win the Stanley Cup. Sorokin, I need to see a level from you that we've never seen before. Like, we need to be perfect in every aspect of the game. We're taking on the Seattle Kraken in the first round. I feel like we can hold our own with Seattle. So it's time for the boys to lock in. We lock in the postseason. We get ourselves a Stanley Cup in year number 1, and then we're all over here. We've won 3 games in a row. Let's make that 4 games in a row and move on to the second round. We're off to a great start. Now, I was expecting Seattle to put up a bigger fight, but I guess they're just going to be completely folding. We're moving on to the second round to take on the Vancouver Canucks. I'm liking our chances right now. But if I'm going to be completely honest, the only reason that I like our chances is because we have the greatest offense of all time here. When it comes to our defense, it's mid. Like, it's incredibly mid. It's actually probably worse than mid, but luckily we can keep on scoring goals here. Can we move on to the conference finals? We have to win one more game, and that game has to be game 7. So here we go, game 7. Winner is off to the conference finals here. The guards are picking up 3 straight goals, but it looks like Vancouver's going to be responding. Moving into the second period, Forbert's going to be tying this game up. It all comes down to the third period. Who's going to show up when it matters most? Well, both teams are. So we're going to have overtime. Why do we have to allow a goal with 54 seconds left? I know how this goes. We're dropping this one in overtime. Never mind. Nikita Kucherov 2 minutes in is going to be ending this one. Where is Thatcher Demko? Did they pull Thatcher Demko in the first period? Yes, they did. That was their mistake. You don't pull NHL 25 Thatcher Demko. So all I can say is Vancouver messed up big time there. They should have had Thatcher Demko play the entire game. And if Thatcher Demko played the entire game, we're not going to be getting past Vancouver. But they messed up big time. And now we have Minnesota. So let's just take it one game at a time. We know for a fact that Minnesota Wild are going to put up a pretty good fight, because they're a pretty solid team if they've made to this point. We're going to be dropping back-to-back games, but luckily we split the series. Game 5 is going to be a big one. We can't afford to drop that one. And what a surprise, we're going to be dropping it. But I can't blame the goaltending so far in this matchup, because the offense hasn't been there for us. We need to start scoring some goals. We're picking up 2 in the first period. We're picking up another in the second. We should be taking this one, and we're forcing game 7. That's exactly what's going to be happening. So the offense is finally waking up here. Game 7 is coming up. Can we win game 7 and make it to the Stanley Cup final in our first postseason appearance? I'm not going to lie, that would be a little wild, but we have the offense here. We know how to score goals, and we're going to keep on doing that. As long as we don't allow 4 unanswered in the third period, we're going to be winning this game, and we're not even going to allow 1 goal. We're in the Cup final. So it all comes down to our Stanley Cup final. A best of 7 series is going to decide who's taking the cup home. Is it going to be the Georgia Guard, or is it going to be the New Jersey Devils, who are on a hot streak right now? They've only lost 4 games so far in the postseason. We've certainly lost more than 4 games, but I don't think they've seen a team like the Guard yet. It all comes down to this. Who is going to show up when it matters most? Who is going to be the hot team when the game is on the line? We've split the series with the Devils. We got to steal game number 5. That's exactly what we're doing. Win game 6, and we're Stanley Cup champions. Of course, we're off to game 7 again. Game 7 is going to once again decide this one, and the game's already over. You're kidding me. We did not just go out like that. I'm heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken. We made it to the Stanley Cup final to lose 6-0 in game 7. Nikita Kucherov, 28 points in 26 games. Sam Reinhart, I actually don't care. I'm heartbroken. I really am. We should have won a Stanley Cup, but this team folded. No, like, I'm actually sick to my stomach. Ain't no way we folded like that. We didn't just lose when it mattered most. Adam Lowry, you're not a defenseman, so we're spinning this again. We are going to spin this wheel until we get a defenseman here. I need a defenseman. Jonathan Marchessault, you are not a defenseman. We will keep on spinning this wheel. We need a defenseman for our final defensive slot here. Dalibor Dvorsky, you are not a defenseman. We will spin this wheel once again. Please, just give me a defenseman. It shouldn't be that hard. UC Saros, you are not a defenseman. There is a lot of defensemen on this wheel. I don't know how we're not landing on any of them. Ryan Suzuki, we do not need you. You are a forward. Give me a defenseman. Just give me one defenseman. That's all I'm asking for. There is probably like a 30% chance of us landing on a defenseman here, but for some reason, we can't get that. Euro Vakananen, of course you're the defenseman we land on. Well, our defense is officially complete here. Euro Vakananen, welcome to the team. We have to cut somebody. We'll just get rid of one of the 0 overall players. We are actually in the trenches. Like, we are so down bad right now. The highest overall defenseman is going to be Tyler Myers at an 84 overall. Thankfully, we can score goals here. So I guess this is the defense we're going to have to win with. Tyler Myers, Borgren, Vakananen, Lundqvist, Tyler Tucker, Ian Mitchell. I'm going to be honest, if we can make it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final with a 0 overall player, there's no way with Vakananen we're not winning a Stanley Cup. All right. Let's run it back. The offense is better this season. The defense is better. The defense is actually significantly better, and I'm very surprised at that. Urho Vakananen, I didn't expect you to be the difference maker, but here we are. Kucherov, Eichel, Reinhart, Marner, Crosby, Nylander, Jesper Bratt, y'all know what you have to do this season. Goaltending. Sorokin, you know what you have to do. 5 shutouts, you're clearly showing up for us. We have the Minnesota Wild in the first round. We're not messing around with this team. If we want to win a Stanley Cup, we have to take every matchup seriously and every game seriously. We dropped the first 2 games. We scored 9 goals in game number 3. Hopefully the offense is woken up here, because it needs to be a lot better. We're going to be stealing game number 5 away. Can we steal game 6 as well and win 4 in a row? Yes, we can. The boys are rolling, and I'm going to be honest, I don't want to stop. We got a bit of momentum right now. I think the boys have figured out how to score goals, because in those first 2 games, it was very questionable because we couldn't do anything, but now we're scoring. We're lighting the lamp so far. far. We split the series with the Winnipeg Jets. We got to win game number 5. What a shocker. We're allowing 6 goals yet again. Just when I start to think I can have faith in this team, they always find a way to mess it up. Tanev scoring the first goal. We're done. We're eliminated. We allowed 5. I don't even care that we allowed 5. In the past 2 games, we scored 1 goal. In the past 3 games, we actually combined for 3 goals. You can't be averaging a goal per game. What are we doing here? Like, as much as I want to get mad at the forwards on this team, can I really get mad at them? Because our defense is allowing 6 goals per game. If we want to win here, we're going to have to average like 7 goals per game. And I don't think our offense is capable of that, considering we have no snipers here. Do we need a sniper? Do we need a superstar defenseman? I think we need a whole lot of everything. All right, so it's time to go back to our old rules. Now that we have a complete team here, we can bring whoever we want to the team. That's what we needed. We needed Leon Draisaitl. We have been looking for a player like Leon Draisaitl for a long time. He's going to score goals and he's going to be the difference. So Leon Draisaitl, you're going to be the best sniper on the team, and you're actually the second sniper we're bringing to the team because somehow we haven't been able to bring in snipers. But we're going to have a first line of Sidney Crosby, Nikita Kucherov, and Leon Draisaitl. If we don't win a Stanley Cup with this team, I don't think we'll ever win one. All right, there is no excuses. Draisaitl, Sidney Crosby, Kucherov, Marner, Eichel, Sam Reinhart. I don't need to go over this team. We're winning a cup. It's time for us to win it all. The offense is going to be unstoppable this season. We're borderline scoring 4 goals per game. I don't care if we're allowing 3, we're scoring 4. The offense is going to be good enough here. Kucherov 112 points, Draisaitl 109. Both of these guys had 49 goals this season. Crosby's on the top line with them. Reinhart, Eichel, Mitch Marner on the second line. That's good enough for me. This team has enough depth. I don't care if we don't have a good defense. We have scoring and we have a goalie. That's all we need here. We're taking on the St. Louis Blues. I've seen some incredibly highs from the St. Louis Blues in this video, and I've seen some very low lows. So you really never know what you're going to get from them in the simulation. Like an NHL 25 simulation, the St. Louis Blues are either going to sweep us and win the Stanley Cup, or they're going to get blown out in 4 games here and no in between. They got blown out in 4 games. They were competitive in game number 1, and after that, we just dominated. Now, the St. Louis Blues couldn't compete with us, but the Minnesota Wild are the second best team in the NHL. If we can get past Minnesota, nobody's going to be able to stop us. But no matter what happens here, it's going to be a hard-fought battle against the Minnesota Wild. They're not just going to completely fold. They just completely folded. All right, then. We're 8-0. So we swept the second best team in the NHL. We swept the St. Louis Blues. We're 8-0 so far. Why did we start losing now? The Vegas Golden Knights are the next team up here. I just can't see us folding to Vegas. We've dropped back-to-back games, but luckily we're going to be responding. 2 straight victories. We can't make it 3. We're in game 6 elimination. I got too comfortable with this team. Plain and simple. I shouldn't have put that much faith in the guard. We knew eventually this team was going to come crumbling down. They were going to choke, but they're keeping this game somewhat competitive. We just need a big third period, and that's exactly what we got. Now we just need to win in overtime. Can we score the most important goal in this series? Can we get the OT winner? It looks like it. Quinton Byfield, you saved the series for us. Quinton Byfield just saved the series. Now we have to win game 7. We fought back hard in this one. We just need to win one more. We win one more game against the Vegas Golden Knights and we're in the Cup final. Draisaitl's picking up the first goal of the game. We're doubling down the second period. We're going to be taking this one. We're choking. We're about to lose this, aren't we? Kucherov, you saved the day. But why did this happen? A Barbashev goal with 29 seconds left? No, we got lucky. Now, I don't know how we made that comeback. We almost choked in game 7, but we still found a way to win. And now the Toronto Maple Leafs are the last team standing in front of us. Yeah, we won a Stanley Cup. Like, come on now. The Toronto Maple Leafs are the last team standing in front of us. We're Stanley Cup champions already. What are we talking about? A 3-1 series lead. Close it out in game 5 or close it out in game 6. I don't really care when we close it out. We're beating the Toronto Maple Leafs. What are we talking about here? The Georgia Guard are finally Stanley Cup champions, and we can thank one man, Leon Draisaitl. 15 goals, 19 assists for 34 points. Jack Eichel 33, Nikita Kucherov 28, Sidney Crosby 28. This team's offensive depth was absolutely insane. Everyone throughout the entire lineup could pick up points. When it comes to goaltending, Sorokin, you did what you had to. 16 wins, 3 shots, a 911 and a 281. You were an absolute stud. But I just want to point out this is the defense we won with. Vakanainen led the way with 4 points from our defense. That was it. 4 points. A 4-point defenseman was good enough for us to win the Stanley Cup. This shouldn't have been possible. The highest overall player on our defense was Tyler Myers, and he had 1 goal for 1 point in the entirety of 21 postseason games. But we still won. I guess we're just built different.